Hello, welcome sa inyong lahat. Happy New Year. Sana naging maayos sa inyong New Year celebration. Okay, so balik ulit tayo dito sa ating PSEI market. We're looking at the one-year chart of PSEI. Ang bawat candlestick is about 1 week worth of trading. Okay, so kung titingnan natin, noong 2018, first 2 weeks of the year, nagkaroon pa ng upward momentum dahil malakas ang money flow indicator natin. But then, dahil nasa overbought na area na yung itong timing oscillator natin, malaki yung possibility at that time na magkaroon tayo ng pullback, which is ganun na nga nangyari. Nagkaroon ng bearish engulfing candlestick dito before February, and then nag-pullback siya and then consolidated dito sa ating 20 moving average area. Dahil pababa na yung trend ng money flow, nagkaroon pa tayo ng further pullback dito sa ating long-term trend line. And then tuluyan pa siya bumagsak dahil hindi naka-recover ang money flow natin, and nag-consolidate siya dito sa 74 to 76 area, okay, for about 2 months. And then from there, nagkaroon pa ng further pullback dahil mahina nga yung money flow. No money was coming into the market. Mga foreigners at that time were also selling aggressively, okay. But then we had a really good support at the 6800 area. We can see this from our candlestick dito with the long wick at the bottom, long tail sa ilalim na itong candlestick na to. And then it formed we bounced from this area with a good bullish divergence signal dito sa ating timing indicator, and then it went back up to 7800 where nandito yung resistance natin dito sa ating long-term trend line. And then from there, dahil mahina pang, actually malakas na yung money flow, but then there were a lot of investors na naipit dito sa area na to. Okay, so that's why they started selling, and that formed our double bottom. We went back to 6800, and then nagkaroon maraming support dito, malakas ang support ng 6800. We can see that by all these bottoming tails. And the money flow was strong, so that means there was a big possibility na magkaroon tayo ng bounce. So for from mid-October to mid-November, nag-consolidate tayo, and then we had a really good bounce up before December, and then nagtuloy-tuloy siya to 7800 kung nasaan ng itong resistance area natin, which formed a good topping itong wick, itong candlestick natin with a very long wick, which is a sign of resistance dito sa 7600 area. And because bullish, overbought na ang market natin at downward ang money flow trend, most likely itong market natin is gonna pull back, and I'm hoping na it's gonna pull back just to dito sa 7000 area, and it's gonna form a higher low and then bounce up from there. Okay, so makikita natin itong momentum indicator natin is pointed upwards, which is a really good sign, and we're hoping na magkaroon pa ng further recovery at this point after itong pullback from the 7400 area, and then ma-breach natin itong 7800 resistance. Okay, so sana mangyari lahat yan while money flow is going back to positive. Okay, and then pag hindi nag-negative to, that's a really good sign, and we can put our money back into this market, and hopefully we'll ride this market, ride it upwards to its upward trend. Okay, so yun na muna for the PSEI. Alright, next up, titingnan natin ang bawat sector ng PSEI market, and hopefully malalaman natin kung aling sectors ang malalakas at kung nasaan ang sector rotation. Okay, so first off, tingnan natin ang financial sector. Makikita natin ang strength, momentum, and sentiment indicator natin for this sector is all bearish. Nasa ilalim siya ng long-term trend line natin, which is pointed downwards. And money flow is also trending downwards, and nasa overbought area siya. So malaki ang possibility na itong financial sector natin is gonna have a pullback. Okay, hopefully it's gonna stay above 1600 and form a higher low. Itong momentum oscillator natin is pointing upwards, which is a good sign na mid to long term magkakaroon pa tayo ng upward momentum, at ma-reach natin itong long term trend line natin, which is gonna act as a resistance around the 1900 area. Okay, so holdings sector naman is better than the financial sector, but we have positive strength. Momentum is neutral, sentiment is slightly positive too, pero nasa ilalim pa rin siya ng long-term trend line natin, and money flow has dipped down to the negative area, which is not a good sign. Tapos siya nasa overbought zone pa tayo dito sa ating timing oscillator. So most likely magkakaroon tayo ng pullback dito sa holding sector natin. Okay? Pero makikita natin itong momentum indicator natin is pointed upwards. So that's a good sign at least na magkakaroon tayo ng upward trend pa rin. The industrial sector naman is still under itong long-term trend line natin, which is pointed downwards. Money flow is really good, so you can see that the investors are really putting their money into this sector. However, it's overbought, so malaking possibility na magkaroon tayo ng pullback. Tapos yun yung momentum indicator natin is flat. Okay, so that means this sector is currently in a trading range between 11,200 to 10,200. Okay, so makikita natin ang strength is very good for this sector. Momentum is neutral. Sentiment is slightly bearish at this point dahil siguro nasa na tayo, overbought area. Okay? Mining and oil, this sector is really bearish. So we can see all this red dito sa tatlong indicator natin. It is below our falling long-term trend line. And currently nasa oversold area siya, so we might see a bounce for this sector up to the 88 to the 8800 area and 9200. Okay, so makita natin na money flow is really bearish, and itong momentum oscillator natin is pointed downwards, so slightly flat but pointed downwards. Right, so that's the mining oil sector. And then the property sector naman, makikita natin na that karoon ng konting glitch. So property sector naman, makikita natin as strength is slightly positive, momentum is bearish, and the sentiment is neutral. Okay, so nasa ilalim siya ng long-term trend line natin, which is starting to fall, and makikita natin itong malalaking candlestick wicks dito sa taas. So that's a sign of heavy resistance around the 3750 and 3700 area. Okay, so makikita natin money flow has dipped down to the negative area, and the timing oscillator is now overbought. Okay, so there's a heavy possibility for this for the property sector to pull back around the 3350 area. So hopefully it'll pull back higher than 3350 and form a higher low. Okay, if not, then it's going to form a triple bottom, which is not a good sign for this sector. All right, the services sector naman is has a positive trend. Momentum is slightly positive from neutral, and sentiment has slightly neutral then. Makita natin na silalim siya nitong falling long-term trend line natin. There's a resistance dito sa 20 moving average area natin, which is currently at 1450, and then overbought na itong timing oscillator natin, so malaki ang possibility na magkaroon tayo ng pullback anytime soon. And the momentum indicator is pointed at slightly downwards, so most likely magkakaroon pa tayo ng downward momentum dito, hoping na it's not going to breach that 1375 area. Okay, alright, so that's yun yung kalagayan ng mga sectors natin, and hopefully that helps you out. Okay, next tingnan naman natin ng mga blue chip stocks sa PSEI, and let's see kung alin-alin doon ng mga bullish stocks. Okay, and ilalagay natin sa watch list natin sa Investograms. Alright, so first stock to look at is itong Ayala Corporation. So itong tatlong indicator nito para makapasok siya sa ating bullish stock. Okay, first of all, kailangan ng power indicator natin, which is a combination of fundamental and technical, mostly fundamental, needs to be green. Okay, so pag green to, that means we're bullish on the stock. Alright, and then kailangan momentum din is also green, because that means if momentum is green, it's outperforming yung benchmark natin, which is the PSEI index. So kung gusto mong i-beat ang market, so just get into stocks that have a green momentum, okay, positive momentum. So kailangan ng both power and momentum natin is at least are in the bullish zone, okay, which is green. All right, so sentiment for this stock is so makikita natin power indicator natin for Ayala Corporation is negative, is bearish. Momentum is also bearish, and sentiment is also bearish. All right, so we don't want to get into this stock just yet. So Ayala Corporation, skip lang natin siya. So mabilis lang. Boyd is equity ventures. No, power indicator is neutral, momentum is bearish, sentiment is also slightly bearish. So skip tayo dyan. AGI is power is bearish, momentum is bearish, sentiment is positive. We have a buy signal noong December 26 oversold. So basically right now we want to buy it above 11.99, pero because both power and momentum is bearish, skip lang natin siya. We're not gonna add it into our list. Ayala Land, so nakita natin from bullish, neutral siya ngayon. So if you want to add this to your watch list, just go ahead and add it. Makita natin it went into a series of higher lows. So but then this looks like a lower high. So and it's overbought with positive money flow, which is good. So I guess we can add this into our watch list, and let's see how it goes, how the stock will look like once na nasa oversold na yung timing oscillator natin. Okay, so first is Ayala Land Inc. Lagay natin sa Investograms. So let's look at our Investograms. Alright, so I already have mga tatlong stocks na inad ko sa watchlist ko, and we'll go through all these stocks after Ayala Land Inc. So show you how to add a stock into your watchlist Investogram. So right now we're gonna be adding Ayala Land Inc. So type natin Ayala Land Inc. So last price is 40 pesos and 60 cents. Humingi siya ng entry price range. So gagawin natin from our dashboard here, ilalagay natin ang entry price natin is above 4107 to 42.83, which is our first target price ko if you bought the stock below 4107. Okay, so target price is 4107. Gawin natin 4107 to 4283. 42.83. Cut loss price is our sell below price. Right now it's 39.49. So I'm like pinapipindot to. Okay. 39.49. So lagay natin cut loss price is 39.49. Target price natin is yung target price 2 dun sa dashboard, which is right now at 43.95 to 45.07. So since isa lang hinihingi niyang price, we'll put 43.95 as our target price. $43.95. Okay, so ganyan, that's how we're gonna be adding our watch list into our or that's how we're going to be adding our stocks into our watch list, and gagamitin natin ng utility na Investograms for our watch list. Okay, since it looks really good. Congrats sa mga nag-design itong system na to. It's really good. I like it. Okay, let's go back to our dashboard. Sa Ayala Land Inc. Nilagay natin siya sa watchlist natin. Let's look at Boytis Power. Makita natin both power momentum is neutral to negative. Sentiment is positive, but Right now, we don't want to add this into our watch list because hindi pa siya pumasa sa dito sa ating power and momentum indicator. Plus overbought siya ngayon, so most likely this stock is going to dip down. And itong long-term momentum indicator natin is also going down. Medyo nag-flatten siya. So we'll see how it goes pag nag-point upwards na siya ulit, maybe next week. Okay, let's look at BPI. BPI is neutral. You can see power and momentum is neutral. Sentiment indicator is becoming neutral from positive. Kita natin yung stock trend versus sector trend versus market is both neutral. So the stock will just go sideways probably. Overbought siya ngayon, so momentum, itong money flow indicator natin is in the negative area, slightly negative. However, yung momentum indicator natin is pointed upwards. So we'll see how this goes once na nag-pull back siya into the oversold area. Okay, BDO, this one is positive. This is bullish, so ang power indicator natin is green. However, momentum is neutral from negative, and sentiment is also positive. So I think we added this watch list natin. So tingnan natin yung watch list natin. Videos in there. Okay. So we're watching this stock and see how it looks like once na nasa oversold area na siya ng ating timing oscillator. Okay, so then DMC is all very positive. This is an ideal bull. Makita natin both power and momentum indicators are green. So this is a bullish stock, which is right now may mga buy signals tayo dito. Last oversold buy signal niya was in December 14, and then ngayon may momentum buy signal siya, which is a continuation of an upward move. Then makikita natin sa chart natin, this stock is stronger than the sector. Sector is just performing together with the market, but this stock is outperforming the sector. So if you're trying to make a portfolio and gusto mong bumili ng stock sa holding sector, then I would recommend buying DMC at this point. Pero well, not really, because money flow has gone negative. It's still in the overbought area. Although makikita natin tong momentum indicator natin ngayon is above its neutral line, itong orange dashed lines natin, so which is good. Tingnan lang natin kung anong gagawin niya once it pulls back into our oversold area. Okay, so I think we added DMC dito sa watch list natin, and yan, DMC nandiyan. Okay, so moving forward, let's look at Globe Telecoms. Globe is neutral. Momentum is positive right now, but sentiment has gone negative. So nasa ibabaw siya nitong long-term trend line natin, which is a good sign. And makikita natin malakas ang money flow, but then we have this curve right here na nangyayari ngayon sa ating timing oscillator. So hindi siya umabot sa overbought. Usually pag ganyan ng stock, that means that's a sign of weakness. So but we'll see, kasi medyo extended na nga, hindi man extended, but it's yung long-term momentum indicator natin is pointed downwards. So there's right now itong stock na to is heading downwards, but we'll see how it acts once na reach niya na itong long-term trend line natin, which is gonna act as a support. Okay, so if you want to add this into your watch list, then okay lang. You have your trade plan here, just buy above 1914 to 2046. You have your target price to 2096, and then between 2096 to 2145, your cut loss is 1880 for the stock, right? So moving forward, ICT. Kita natin ang ICT is really strong. We have an ideal bull here. Both power and momentum indicators are green, which means this is a fundamentally strong stock. Kita natin din sa chart natin, it has broken itong long-term trend line natin, which is a good sign. But right now, money flow is also very positive too, right? Pero right now, might not be a good time to buy this stock, lalong-lalo na ang oscillator natin is overbought, so this may pull back in the next 1 to 3 weeks. But what's good about this stock is na-break niya itong middle line natin sa ating momentum long-term momentum indicator, and we'll see how it acts once na nasa oversold area itong stock na to. Okay, so nagkaroon tayo ng mga breakout buy signals dito. Yung last one is December 19, broke by above 99.32, which at that time nasa 101.3 na yung presyo natin. So nasa target price 3 area na siya, so medyo risky na siya. So nakita natin medyo nag pull back siya because it's already overbought. So hintayin lang natin mag-oversold tong stock na to, and then we might put our money in here. So but it's worthy of putting it into our watch list. So that's why nasa watch list natin siya, ICT. Okay, next is JFC. JFC is also bullish. Right now it's neutral. Bullish siya for the last 3 days last week, and so Friday neutral. But we have an oversold buy signal dito that happened in last December 26. Buy above price of 297. So hindi niya na-hit yung buy above price natin. So right now ang buy above price is 294.97. Okay, so JFC is looking pretty good. Nasa ibabaw siya nitong long-term trend line natin. Good positive money, very positive money flow. Overbought lang siya. So and nagkaroon ng you can see itong pag nagkakaroon ng dalawang bottom na ganyan, that means most likely the stock will pull back in the next 1 to 3 weeks, which I think nangyari na siya. Nakita natin nag-pull back na siya at the end of December, and then we'll just wait for the stock to go to the dito sa ating oversold area, katulad ng nangyari last October, right? Na-break niya yung long-term trend line natin, but since money flow was a bit positive, bumalik ulit siya, broke our long-term trend line, which was a very good sign of strength, at kaya nagtuloy-tuloy siya up to 310 from 250 last from October to December. Right, so makita natin ng momentum, long-term momentum indicator natin is also pointed upwards, which is really good for the stock. Alright, so JGS is also positive. Oh, kalimutan natin lagay si JFC. So okay, due to time constraints, wag na lang, hindi ko muna ilalagay ko na lang siya after this video, and then we'll move on to other stocks para mabilis lang to. Okay, if you guys have any questions on how to add stocks into your Instagram watch list, then you can either call them if you guys are kung kayo ay customers na ng Instagrams, call their support, and then they'll show you how to use their software. Otherwise, balikan nyo na lang, i-rewind nyo yung video na to the time na nag-add ako ng mga stocks dun sa watch list natin sa Instagrams. Okay? Alright, so next is JGS. JGS is also bullish. We will be adding this into our watch list. Positive money flow. Nasilalim siya ng long-term trend line, so that means there's still a possibility of this stock going downwards. Overbought siya, so we're just gonna add this to our watch list, and let's see how this stock react. It can go up to 60 pesos. Meron tayong resistance dito, and also we have another resistance at past 62 pesos and 50 cents. Alright, and then the momentum indicator natin is also pointing upwards, which is a good sign. So JGS, you can put this into your watch list. LTG, alright, neutral power, momentum is negative, sentiment is neutral, so, and it's also overbought right now. Money flow is negative, but it's trending upwards, which is a good sign. And our long-term momentum indicator is also pointed upwards, which is also a good sign. But right now, we're not going to add it into our watch list dahil ang momentum is negative. It's not outperforming the market. It's underperforming the market, so we don't want to add this into our list of stocks just yet. Okay. So next is Metropolitan Bank (MBT). Power is green, as where this stock is bullish. Momentum is also green. Sentiment is getting better. So right now, the only thing that's negative about this stock, it is overbought. Money flow is good. We're now hitting the resistance area. So at this point, itong indicator na itong momentum indicator natin is pointed upwards, which is good. So hintayin lang natin mag pull back itong stock na to and go back to oversold area, and if it forms a higher low, then that's a good sign. We can put money into this stock in the short term. Okay, dahil nasa ilalim pa siya ng long-term trend line natin. Once it breaks out of the long-term trend line, then you can feel safe or secure na you can invest in this stock in the long term. Right now everything is just short term as long as it's below our long-term trend line. Next is Mega World is also bullish stock. Momentum is neutral. Sentiment is very positive. The only thing negative about this stock is it's in the overbought area. Money flow is very good. Kita natin nagkaroon ng bearish divergence dito. Stock is it's trading above its long-term trend line, pero itong timing oscillator natin is dipping downwards, right? So let's wait for this to go to our oversold area bago natin pasokan tong stock na to. Okay, but this is a good stock for you to add into your watch list, Mega World, right? So next is Meralco, Manila Electric. Power is neutral. Momentum is also neutral. Sentiment is neutral. So this is a neutral stock. So this might go sideways for a while. Kita natin ang itong timing oscillator natin is dipping downwards. So let's just give this a few weeks and wait for this to go into our oversold area. Money flow has dipped, has gone down. Still positive, pero it has gone down. Okay, so I think nag-hold lang yung mga investors natin, yung mga institutions natin dito. Okay, so makita natin nag-flatten out itong momentum indicator natin, but it's above itong neutral line natin, so which is a sign of an uptrend. Okay, confirmation for an uptrend. Okay, so bilisan natin, maubusan na tayo ng battery. MPI is bearish. We don't want to get into this stock just yet. It's also overbought. Money flow is positive, so momentum has gone up. So this stock is looking good, but not yet in the meantime. FGen, you can add this into your watch list. This is a very bullish stock, FGen. It's overbought, so let's wait for this to pull back, and before making our entry, I would suggest let it pull back to the 17 pesos area. Okay. GT Cap, neutral stock. Momentum is going up, so it's starting to outperform the market. Sentiment is very positive. So the only thing is power. Itong money flow niya has trended upwards. It's still negative, but it's trending up. Overbought tayo, so let's wait for this to dip down into the oversold area. Kita natin ng oscillator is pointed upwards, so itong momentum, long-term momentum indicator natin is pointed upwards, so that's a good sign for GT Cap. Petron, a neutral stock. Momentum is rising. Mood sentiment is also very positive. I don't know if this is the same as okay, I have to fix PCOR. Nailagay ko yung same price ng GT Cap, so let's ignore that for now. Pure Gold is a neutral stock. Right now momentum is negative and sentiment is neutral. Okay, so kita natin na money flow dito sa chart natin is very negative, so this stock is still continuing its downward trend. So we're bought, so most likely this stock is going to go down and pull back All right, RLC, add this to your watch list. You see power is positive, momentum is also positive, sentiment has gone neutral, but that's okay kasi overbought siya. We can see that it has dipped down to its negative, to its oversold area. Yung negative yung money flow natin, but that's alright. Slightly negative lang siya, and it's just a sign of people taking profits in the meantime dahil nasa overbought, uh, nasa resistance area siya. So let's wait for this to do a bounce upwards and then pasukan natin to. Okay, so this is a good stock to buy while it's still at the bottom at least. So if you know how to bottom pick, this is one way of how what stock to pick at the bottom. Okay, so RLC, RHI is negative, so we don't want to put our money in here just yet. Overbought siya. And last 3 weeks medyo last 2 weeks nag uptrend siya, so which is a good sign, but then fundamental and the momentum are negative on this stock, so let's just stay away from this for the meantime until it shows us some signs of strength. Semirara is also negative. I know mining sector is it's a bullish sector, bearish sector, so we want to stay away from this stock for now. Security Bank, we can see that both power and momentum is also bearish, so we don't want to invest in this stock for now. Kita natin, money flow is negative, very negative, overbought area, and also itong momentum indicator, long-term momentum indicator is flat, so stay away from this stock. SM negative, neutral, power, momentum is neutral, sentiment is negative. So this is a stock that's just going to trend sideways, I think, and possibly it's going to go down some more. Okay, so SMC, nakita natin siya was a very bullish stock at one point. Ngayon, sentiment has gone very bearish, but then our power is neutral, momentum is also neutral. So we can see that there's support here sa 130, around 130 to 140 area, and the stock is oversold. Okay, so money flow is still positive, so this is still a good sign for SMC, as long as it stays above its long-term trend line between 130 and 140. I think this stock will still go up, and we'll see how it looks like when it's overbought. All right. SMPH is a positive stock. You can put it into your watch list. Momentum is just is neutral, so this might be a stock that's going to a personality change. So most likely magiging bullish tong stock na to and will start trending upwards. Okay, lalo na sentiment natin is very positive. Okay, but it's like any other stock, it's overbought, so we'll wait for this to drop and pull back into its oversold area. And hopefully money flow is not going to be negative. Okay, so malapit na tayo maubos ng battery talaga, so we'll make this really fast. Don't go into PLDT just yet, it's very bearish. URC is bearish, and that's it. Those are our stocks for our PSEI, mga blue chip stocks, and then we'll talk about it some more in our next video. Okay, see you later.